Did you know that we have channel memberships now? If you'd like to help support this channel, get some exclusive Kawabana emotes to use in the comments, as well as an exclusive badge by your name, click that join button now to find out even more. Every bit of support really helps. Thanks guys. If you're a big fan of Japanese horror, particularly internet horror, then you are no doubt aware of Kisaragi Station's existence, one of my personal favourite legends to come off the Ni Channel bulletin boards over the decades. But the success of the Kisaragi story, and its at the time unique method of real-time storytelling, meant that, naturally, it developed all sorts of copycats and stories heavily inspired by it over the years. In fact, isekai train stations basically became a genre all of their own. And this week, we're going to look at one of the more popular ones. A station said to lurk somewhere in Japan's Eastern Sea Highway. Let's see if we can find our way to Tsukinomiya Station. I just covered this story in episode 178 of Kawabana, if you want to refresh your memory, the terrifying Net Legends episode. But to sum up an already short story, a Ni Channel user remarks that they were dozing on the night train in Tokaido when they arrived at a strange station around 3 AM. The sign outside said Tsukinomiya, using the kanji for Moon Palace or Moon Shrine. The signage looked similar to that used in Nagoya, but the poster was certain they weren't there. What made this station strange, though, was that the people on the platform appeared to be around 2 meters tall, dark, and they were staggering around the platform rather than walking. They basically looked like 3-dimensional shadows. And beyond these 3D shadows was a fantastic cityscape full of skyscrapers the same size as Tokyo Tower. The poster claimed it was too real to be a dream, but naturally, they couldn't be certain it wasn't. And that's the extent of the story. It was shared on February 19th, 2008, and naturally it drew quick parallels to Kisaragi Station. Over time, Kisaragi has come to be treated as a station not just in a parallel world, but situated somewhere between our living world and the world of the dead. If you keep going, then you'll end up at a station that leads you directly to the underworld, with no return. But is Tsukinomiya situated on that same line? Unlike the other stations, this one doesn't come with a terrifying name. As I said earlier, it means Moon Palace or Moon Shrine, and you'll actually find numerous shrines around the country with the same name, either dedicated to rabbits. After all, in Japanese folklore, a rabbit lives on the moon and you can see him making mochi there from Earth. Or dedicated to the kami of the moon, Tsukuyomi. Neither of these really seem to fit the station in question, however. The person who found themselves at the odd station later clarified they were on the Moonlight Nagara, an overnight train that's sadly no longer in service. But either way, this station seems strongly tied to the moon somehow. You can, apparently, only get there at night. The station itself is incredibly dim, and the city surrounding it is fantastical. Perhaps like you've found yourself on a futuristic moon somewhere. One poster wondered if it wasn't perhaps related to the story of the Chitahanda rabbit. As the story goes, a hunter from the Chitahanda area in southern Aichi Prefecture ended up helping a rabbit that he was hunting. In return, the rabbit treated him to mochi in the moon capital on the night of the full moon. After stuffing himself with all the mochi he could eat, the hunter then returned on the night train. But when he got back, he discovered that he had aged and become a shadow created by the moonlight. The rabbit he hunted wasn't really paying him back, it seems, but actually getting revenge. It's hard to deny the similarities with the two stories. Both involve a night train travelling to the moon. In the legend, the actual moon. In the story, a station with the moon in the name. Then we have shadowy figures in both, with the hunter turning into a shadow created by the moonlight, and the figures at the station looking like 3D shadows. Could this mean that Tsukinomiya Station is actually a stop on the way to the moon, where the rabbit is said to live, that can only be accessed on nights of the full moon? Interestingly, people in the same thread came out and claimed that they had been to the same station. One visitor described the night sky as pitch black and full of stars, and if he could go back there again, he very much would. Another visitor confirmed the beautiful starry night sky, and the presence of shadow men, both on and off the train. They weren't able to see the skyscrapers very well, but they also confirmed seeing those. One reader in the thread also presented their hypothesis on the moon rabbit theory. Legends of the moon rabbit are particularly strong in the Aichi area, and the gates to reach this other world only open on nights of the full moon. Then, and only then, can you pass through to this other world, a potential ancient civilization on the moon full of fantastical skyscrapers. The reason so many people were thought to be spirited away in that area in the past is potentially linked to this moon gate. Another user in the same thread noted that they had a similar, yet distinctly different experience. They weren't on the night train, but it was a train late at night as they dozed off. When they woke up, they discovered the train had stopped at an unknown station. It appeared to be around 6 in the morning, and there were 2 or 3 figures walking around on the platform, similar to those described in the Tsukinomiya Station story. However, they didn't see any skyscrapers, and the station name said Kitagi. Seeing this greatly upset the poster, and in their sleepiness they might have misread it, and it was actually Kisaragi. But either way, seeing all these similar stories pop up now had them finding it all very strange. Another person in the thread claimed to not to have been to Tsukinomiya, but rather they had dreamt about it. They described the same shadowy figures and a train, while the city was a beautiful orange colour, like a retro Tokyo sunset. This person didn't live in Nagoya, but they did have family there, so again, perhaps it was all connected somehow. Then yet another user shared that they had taken the Sunrise Izumo from Matsue, my hometown by the way, and somewhere between Nagoya and Shizuoka, they experienced a strange sight outside. A massive, glowing white tower that they've never been able to forget, but also never been able to find again. Setting the veracity of visiting a moon city in a parallel universe by taking the night train in Aichi aside, the mere idea of it certainly captured the hearts and minds of many. At its most basic, it's an incredibly simple yet fascinating idea. A lost station, shadow men, fantastic skyscrapers, and a dark, starry sky. A worthy sequel to the Kisaragi legend that came out just less than half a decade earlier. Since then, mysterious station after mysterious station has been shared on the Ni Channel boards and other related sites, but few have captured the imagination as well as Kisaragi and Tsukinomiya. According to some legends, they can now be found on the same mysterious train line that seems to unlock late at night and ferries you to the underworld. They are the 2 biggest stops, but they aren't the only stops. You can find Tsukinomiya first, and Kisaragi later. Sounds like a hell of an isekai tour, but with 0 reports of anyone who has visited multiple stations on the same trip, we don't yet know how that would work. And if the legend of the Aichi Hunter is anything to go by, even if you could visit multiple stations and return, the world probably won't be as you remember it. Time works differently there after all. And if you're ever in the Aichi area at night, perhaps be wary of any rabbit offers to visit the moon. You know, just in case. But what did you guys think of this one? Which is your favourite creepy train station? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.